evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Newshour special edition and I am Hina Gambhir. A dialogue in a Bollywood film is used in several real-life situations. Picture abhi baki hai mere dost. Well, just a few days ago, one felt there was a closure in the investigations by Mumbai Police into a burglary attempt turning violent after a Bangladeshi national was arrested. But we should have realized कि picture abhi baki hai. What was being pushed as a straight as a ruler's edge case has grown dramatic, twisty turns like a mountain road. Discrepancies have emerged. No, not on the statement of the accused, but that of the alleged victims in this case. The waters have gone murky, and tonight on the Newshour, viewers, we focus on not one but 5 glaring inconsistencies that have surfaced. The jigsaw puzzle of the case now has pieces that do not fit. But first, let's try to put out the puzzle for our viewers. Number 1. The versions of the crime provided by, believe it or not, victim Saif Ali Khan and his superstar wife Kareena do not match. Take, for example, Saif Ali Khan's statement to the police. Listen to it very, very carefully. It says he was with Kareena Kapoor Khan on 11th floor of his house and they both rushed to son Jahangir's room after the nanny screamed. Kareena, on the other hand, in her statement says only Saif Ali Khan rushed down and she came down later and saw the intruder attacking Saif. So there is a discrepancy here. At least the police needs to clarify this, if not the family. Of course, a benefit of doubt in the face of the attack shouldn't be jettisoned. Discrepancy number 2. When did the crime really take place? When was Saif admitted to the hospital? There is zero clarity on this too. As per the hospital, viewers, Saif Ali Khan was brought to the hospital around 3:30 a.m. Initially, remember, one of the doctors had claimed 2 a.m. The medical report, however, viewers, is showing the time of admission as 4:11 a.m. on 16th of January. Next, we know about the auto rickshaw driver who drove the injured actor, his young son and a third male to the hospital. Let's, call him Mr. X because we don't know. The house help says Mr. X was his eldest son, Ibrahim, who accompanied Saif Ali Khan. Now, this is the version of the house help. The auto driver says Taimur accompanied Saif Ali Khan along with a caretaker. And the medical report says Afsar Zaidi, who is Saif Ali Khan's manager, got him admitted to the hospital. That's discrepancy number 3. Now, viewers, even the nature of the injuries sustained by Saif Ali Khan has got multiple versions. Initially, doctors claimed 6 injuries, out of which 2 were quite deep. The hospital records, however, do not mention the 6th injury on the spine. Lastly, is the arrested Bangladeshi national Shariful Islam the attacker? Well, why this doubt has come today? That's because sources have told Times Now that cops are facing difficulties in matching his fingerprints and face profile to that viral photo of the intruder on CCTV. According to the plot, viewers, is the arrested accused's father who claims that the man seen on CCTV pictures is not his son. So that is yet another discrepancy that we have for our viewers. So now the cops are planning a facial recognition test. So for one violent attack on a celebrity that shook the entire nation, there are multiple versions that are coming in. Now that raises yet again a question mark over the quality of investigation in a serious crime. Did the police, under pressure to work out the high-profile case, slip up? Is there more to the case than what the police officials are claiming? We aren't saying dal mein kuch kala hai, but the discrepancies, viewers, are so many that we need to explore. Is there more to this case? Yani, kya picture abhi baki hai? And that's the big debate coming up on the Newshour this evening. And joining us on the Newshour is Sana Rais Khan, lawyer, Supreme Court; Ira Trivedi, who is an author and yoga acharya; Bhaskar Rao, former police commissioner of Bangalore; Kasturi Shankar, who is an actor, also joining us on the debate this evening. Good evening to all of you. Thank you very much for joining us here on Times Now. Ira Trivedi, there are discrepancies, and that's the reason why doubts today are emerging. What is your assessment of how and the way the details have come out in this particular case? Do you also feel something somewhere is not adding up?
See, I'm actually more concerned about the bigger picture here. You know, the smaller nuances, yes, they are important, but the big picture is that we are living in Bandra, and actually, I am also a resident of Bandra. I live minutes away from the Khans, so this is definitely very, very personal to me as well, that these sort of incidents are happening. And now that it has happened, there is so much mystery around this. We as residents of Bandra are really afraid. First, Baba Siddiqui is shot, and now this has happened. This is one of the premium most areas in the whole country, and these sort of things are happening. So we feel as residents that safety is really compromised. And now that there's so much bungling up of facts and there's mystery on the facts, it's even more scary for us. So I really feel like the police department must come forward and clarify these things. I don't want to speculate over here because I don't know what the exact facts are. I don't know if certain facts are not being revealed to the public. I have heard very closely what you have said, but at the same time, I don't want to, just speculate on things. But I can really tell you that as a resident over here, this is very, very concerning. These sort of incidents are happening in the city of Mumbai, and we as citizens of this country, the fact that superstars are getting burgled in their own homes and they're getting shot on the roadside, this is like the wild, wild west. And we're living in one of the premier-most areas of Mumbai. So this is definitely of great and huge concern.
Well, it is indeed a matter of huge concern, and that's the reason why we are raising some questions that are today coming, because there have been number of discrepancies.
Yes, and I'm so glad about that.
Yeah, something that we can't really ignore. Sana Rais Khan, isn't it? Because, when we thought after a person was arrested, we thought that perhaps it's an open and shut case. It's, all clear now. Suddenly, we had more information, more details coming out now. Even the person who is in the custody of Mumbai Police, his father has come out and said that, his son's picture is not really matching with the picture of that photo from the, CCTV footage that's going viral, who is being seen as the key accused in this case.
Yes, absolutely. The crux of the criminal jurisprudence remains that a person is presumed to be innocent until he's proved guilty. Now, the arrest as is being projected by the media, but the very first question regarding the investigation is that why is 109 of BNF, charges of attempt to murder, not invoked in the first place, considering the injuries, six injuries, 6 grievous injuries by persistent stabbing in the neck and spine were heard, and despite of that, such a crucial section has not been invoked. That is the first question that raises concern here. There is definitely a need for a thorough, transparent, and multifaceted investigation to bring the perpetrator to justice. Because this case does not just serve as a wake-up call to reassess security protocols and establish stricter measures, but if you see the investigation, the pace at which it is being conducted, and overall about 200, like the recent development, as I just recently, I read even through Times Now articles only, that over 200 fingerprints have been collected, making the forensic process challenging and time intensive. Fingerprint mismatches also suggest involvement of multiple individuals, which complicates the investigation. So there are certain pertinent questions that need to be asked. That with over 200 fingerprints collected, why was it initially presumed to be the work of a lone intruder? Have the investigators considered the possibility of an inside job? Is there a delay in processing forensic evidence? And what measures are being taken to expedite the analysis? And also, how did an unauthorized individual, gain access to a high-profile residential area like this? And again, have investigators thoroughly examined the accused's motive, which could be, of course, beyond the assumed intent of burglary. And given the complexities in the case, how long is it even expected to take for investigation to reach a conclusion? Because if there is a risk that crucial evidence could be lost or tampered with due to investigative delays. So these are certain questions certainly that need to be asked at this stage, and the presence of unmatched fingerprints, of course, require expanding the investigation to include all potential links to the accused. There is an imminent need for ensuring proper documentation and handling of evidence to avoid contamination of or any legal challenges in court.
Those are pertinent points you've raised. I will now go across to Mr. Bhaskar Rao. Did the police, in your opinion, rush in to collect a pat on the back in this case?
Actually, it is not pat on the back. Since it being a very high-profile case, police is definitely under a lot of pressure to show results. So what happens is that they will go all the way to see that someone connected to the crime is arrested immediately. Now, the air needs to be cleared by the top brass of Mumbai Police. Why is it they are silent? Because there are too many discrepancies which are being shown in the media. These inconsistencies should not be made to look like discrepancies, and police should not be vilified. It does happen. A suspect is in custody. Police is doing their best to see whether the crime is connected to the criminal. But one thing is for sure, there is a crime has taken place, there is a criminal, there is a victim, and an injury has taken place. Rest of the details are mere speculations which one should not pay attention to and sensationalize. Police have investigated number of sensational cases. They have no vested interest in hiding things, but definitely they are under pressure. But the only way out is the Mumbai Police Commissioner, instead of being silent, should hold a press meet or should clarify and update people about the investigation that is taking place, and also assure the people of Bandra, which is a high profile area where a lot of VVIPs and important people who enjoy a lot of media attention stay there, because there is definitely some kind of a fear psychosis after serial incidents taking place over there. So the traditional policing of access control and ensuring that police presence is there should be carried out, so that confidence building measures are carried out, and all these controversies which are kite flying can be dispensed. The air needs to be cleared by the top cop of Mumbai. That's all.
So you agree that discrepancies should not be there, given that, it was a high profile case? Didn't it also then warrant, a high level of caution by police?
Inconsistencies should not be treated as discrepancies.
No, I'm saying because it was a high profile case, did it also not...
They are definitely under pressure.
No, I completely understand. I completely understand what you're saying.
Let us not vilify the police.
No, we are not here to vilify the cops. We are just raising some questions on the basis of what all has come out in this particular case. And because today there are discrepancies, questions are being raised. Are these not logical questions?
But the bigger picture has to be clarified.
That's my point, sir. Don't you think the cops should come out and clarify what exactly happened? Don't you think, because the cops also knew that it was a high-profile case, sir, it warranted... Didn't it then warrant a higher level of caution, sir, from the cops also?
Yeah, I agree with you. Yes, you are right. People need to know what is the stage of investigation, and people need to be given confidence that Bandra is going to be safe and they need not worry, and the police is with the residents of Bandra.
Okay. Kasturi Shankar, what do you have to say about, the kind of discrepancies that we have seen emerging in this particular case? And it's not just, these points that we have raised. In fact, it was the politicians who started questioning the swift recovery of Saif Ali Khan the day he came out of the hospital.
Unfortunately, I think that was very unfair and insensitive. I believe Mr. Saif Ali Khan, who is 53 years old, was being a complete inspiration and a great example of resilience when clearly, we had any number of hospital pressers as well as the chief doctor's statements about how many places he was stabbed in the back as well as in the neck areas. And to have survived that, granted he had the best care, but to have survived that and then to walk out and have put up a brave front in front of all the cameras, I think that's, I don't know how many people have that kind of personal strength. To question that strength and to make a mockery of it is just disgusting, and I don't care if it comes from the ruling party or, to insinuate that it had something to do with his mazhab, I thought that was just cheap. And I think politicians should stay out of it. This is not a case of extremism or terrorism or any kind of political import. This is, if at all anything, a case of trespassing, housebreak, and an attempt of robbery, right? And it has escalated from that, armed robbery. That's what this should be considered as, and that's how it should be dealt with. Even in the case of the accused, Shariful Islam, whatever footage I have seen, it's very difficult to, it doesn't look like the same person. I mean, again, these are all very fuzzy images, but the photo of the person that we have now, that, Times has done a great job with this. I mean, from the beginning, they've been on the investigative, I believe, been on the forefront of updating on this situation. But to see this guy's photo and to then see that guy walking, it looks like a younger person. So I don't know if this person has aged in the last 1 week. And also, I read some reports. I read a printed interview of the dad talking about how this guy came from Bangladesh in search of a better future. It can be interpreted as people have come in, I mean, legally, illegally, with resources, they could be turning to the other side. He could have taken a drastic measure. I feel people are not guilty until all the facts are out. And in that, I agree with Mr. Bhaskar Rao that the police really have so much pressure in this case because it's a high-profile case. So one hopes that they are taking all the right steps and they are doing a thorough job of the investigation instead of just, getting somebody and getting the news out. And hopefully there are no scapegoats in this. And if there were, I would say that it would really undermine the confidence that people like me, I'm not from Maharashtra, I'm not from Mumbai, I don't know what the ground realities are there. But we should not end up thinking real life cops are also like real life cops. We should have confidence in them, and therefore transparency as well as thorough, scrupulous investigation is very important.
Right. Those are important points. And Ira Trivedi also had raised the security concerns. Ira Trivedi, with police, seems to be fumbling in this particular case. Does that make you feel safe?
Absolutely not. In fact, as someone who lives minutes away from the Khans, someone who is living in the area of Bandra for one of these reasons, that it is a highly secure, highly safe area. It's a great concern. It's also a densely populated area of Mumbai, and especially after what happened with Baba Siddiqui, now this has happened. And there's also been other threats which have been issued to other celebrities, etc., that I've heard about. I don't know if they're verified or not. But what I'm trying to say is that as residents of Bandra, we certainly feel very, very unsafe. And just like Sir Dr. Bhaskar Rao has mentioned, that the police must come out and give a statement as a resident of Bandra, as someone who lives just minutes away. The first thing that struck me, of course, was sympathy towards the Khans. The second thing was a growing sense of fear. In fact, my husband immediately told me, I was in the ashram, and he called me frantically and said that, listen, when I'm traveling now alone and you're alone at home, then we have to figure out something for you. Either you have to have your parents who have to come and stay, or we have to find some security for you, but you cannot stay anymore. You can't stay alone in the home anymore, which is unbelievable, right? In fact, because Bombay is known for the safety of women and other people. Bombay is known as that. In fact, young women come to Bombay and they feel absolutely safe. And now that there's been a burglary in the home of a superstar who lived in a premium building, and the building itself has lots of security, and he also has, his own house security there. So if a person can reach inside a house like that, what happens to the common man? What happens to the rest of us? That's my big concern. So this has definitely been a huge concern for us. So concerning, in fact, that we're thinking about, do we maybe move out of Bandra now? Is Bandra really safe? If someone can be caught, just shot dead on the road, and someone's home can be burgled in the middle of the night, and what if this intruder had a gun? That was my first question. Thankfully, he did not have a gun, because our gun rules are so strong, it's very difficult for someone to get a gun. So I remember looking looking into the gun rules and saying, what if this person had a gun?
Absolutely.
Thankfully, he had a knife, and thankfully, Saif is a very healthy and strong person, and they immediately went to the hospital, etc., etc. But it's really, if you think about this, this could happen in any neighborhood in India. And the fact that it has happened in one of the most premium areas in the country, inside the home of a superstar, what does it do to the psychology of the rest of the country?
And it's been 9 days already.
Especially for single people and women who come to Bombay.
And Mr. Bhaskar Rao, it's been 9 days already. We still do not know who was this person behind this burglary attempt that turned violent. What was his motive? And today the update we are getting is that they are now probing whether more people were involved in this particular case. Now, 2 points I'd like you to address. One, that Ira mentioned that perhaps there is a need for the Mumbai Police to give this sense of reassurance to the people, not just in Bandra but across Mumbai, especially after seeing what happened here. And second, what Saif Ali Khan had mentioned earlier about the absence of an attempt to murder charge. I want to ask you, shouldn't there be an attempt to murder charge given the fact that Saif Ali Khan was stabbed?
The attempt to murder charge will not be attracted.
Why?
No, attempt to murder charge will not be attracted here. That is illegal because there was no intention to come to murder. It was a different incident of a different kind.
Okay, one at a time. One at a time. Sana, 1 second. Let him respond. Then you can ask your question. Yes.
The attack seems to be absolutely premeditated.
Okay, Sana, 1 second. Mr. Bhaskar Rao, why this attempt to murder charge can't be there?
See, first of all, you have to look at the ingredients of the complaint. Do the ingredients of the complaint, whoever has given, does it suggest that there was a premeditated action? So, if at all, investigation reveals that it was premeditated and somebody wanted to murder him or cause harm, then only attempt to murder can be incorporated.
Okay.
At such an early stage, one does not put that charge of 307 IPC or attempt to murder. Of course, I know Madam probably is swayed by the level of injuries, but at this stage, it is a little premature, ma'am.
Saif Khan, will you like to respond?
Weapon was left stuck inside the spine. What else do we need? If not attempt to murder, then what is it? And do you really think a man would just come there? Does this really seem to be an attack which is not premeditated? Even a man, even any prudent person in his right mind would know and would understand that definitely is a premeditated attack. And let me tell you, the investigation definitely seems to be botched up. Right, prima facie, it is evident that the person appearing in the CCTV footage and the person who's been arrested are two different individuals. The investigation is it may be at a nascent stage, but in my view, is definitely going in a wrong direction and appears to be absolutely botched up. And for 109 of BNS, what is essential is intention and knowledge. Any person who stabs a man stabs and causes 6 grievous injuries is presumed to have knowledge that such injuries would definitely could cause death. So if not 307, if not 109 of BNS, then what? Then what?
Please allow the police to do their job.
You really want the man to die to invoke these sections?
Allow the police to do their job.
But Mr. Bhaskar Rao, aren't these important questions? Mr. Bhaskar Rao, aren't these important questions? The cops have taken out, this 2.5 mm. That was the size of the knife that was pulled out from his body after the surgery took place. Many doctors that we have spoken to, Mr. Rao, they said that the stabbing, was so bad that it could have been life-threatening if he was not taken to the hospital quickly. Mr. Rao.
Let the truth come out, madam. Let the truth come out over there. Investigation is not the prerogative of media or
No, but I
people.
completely
It is the
agree
police-
with
in the
you
police
on
domain.
that aspect.
Definitely-
Let the truth come out. But
definitely
Mr.
the
Bhaskar
perpetrator
Rao,
will
I
be
have very little
brought
time
about
left
over
on the
there.
debate.
See,
Mr.
that is
Bhaskar
why
Rao,
by
let me
making
once
such
again ask
statements-
you the question that I asked earlier.
Let us
Carrying
respect the
a
police
weapon
action,
to
ma'am.
harm is not important in your opinion? And stabbing somebody 6 times would not does not
See,
attract
taking a
an
weapon-
attempt to
see,
murder
it is an
charge, sir?
armed- Let the investigation reveal.
No. Nobody is stopping
Madam,
the
let the
investigation or what the
investigation
cops
reveal.
are doing. They are
See,
doing their
neither
job.
I
But
have
I'm just
visited the
asking you a
spot.
question.
See, madam, see,
Sir, Mr. Bhaskar Rao, as a
neither I
former
have
police
visited the
commissioner,
spot,
Mr.
nor
Bhaskar Rao,
other,
one second. Mr.
media
Bhaskar Rao, hear my question first, sir. As a former police commissioner, I just have one question for you that Sana Reis Khan, in her opening comments, had raised, which today is being seen as a pertinent point. Many people have spoken about it. The point is Saif Ali Khan was stabbed multiple times. It was a life-threatening injury that he sustained. How is it that it can't attract attempt to murder charge, sir?
that is why I am telling you, let the police do their investigation. What we are hearing is only what is coming out in the media. Let the police do their investigation and come out with that. Now you are questioning the identity of the person itself over there. It would not be correct. Neither have interrogated the suspect nor have I visited the spot. So it is premature to say anything at this stage. The Mumbai Police enjoys very high reputation. Let us not put them under pressure and vilify them. They will definitely come out.
Nobody is trying to vilify the Mumbai cops here. Let me be very clear on that. We were stating facts. We were talking about the things that have come out in this particular case and some of the questions that still remain unanswered. And
come out, madam.
Given the nature of the injury in this particular case, a very valid point was made by Sana Reis Khan that why there was no attempt to murder charge. I'm sure he was not carrying that knife to spread jam on the bread. Even if the motive was to, this burglary was the motive, I'm sure he was not carrying it to use it to spread jam on the bread. I'm sure there must have been some kind of motive behind it, but
That is a domain of investigation.
All right.
Domain of investigation.
Being armed with such a deadly weapon itself invites an intention to cause death.
I am saying repeatedly, Mumbai Police Commissioner should brief the people of Mumbai and Maharashtra the stage of investigation and reassure the people.
Well, they need to do that. That is exactly what we are demanding right now, that they should come out and tell us what have they found in the last 9 days, answer some of these very important unanswered questions that are there. And because it is a high-profile case, we expect them to tell us what exactly has happened and what they have found. That's the reason why, because there is no clarity, that's the reason why there are discrepancies that are now emerging. And we can really hope that cops will come out and will address a press conference and tell us exactly what they have found in this case so far in their 9 days of investigation. For now, I'm completely out of time, but thank you all of you, Sana Reis Khan, Ira Trivedi, Bhaskar Rao and Kasturi Shankar. Appreciate all of you for joining us here on the News Hour, heading into a short break.
The News Hour Special Edition.
The first thing I saw